Meeting with the project team. After you were officially introduced as the new project manager to the team and key stakeholders, one of your first actions is to hold a working meeting with the project team. You organize a simple agenda for a 1-hour meeting as an opportunity to hear from them about the current challenges in the project. In a meeting, team members take turns to describe some of the challenges they're facing now. They vary from a lack of understanding of the project objectives, the constant changes requested by key stakeholders, the lack of clarity in the roles and responsibilities. As a project manager, you take notes of all those issues, and from the list, you ask the team which one of these problems is the most critical. The team agrees that one of the most pressing challenges is the lack of clarity and understanding of the project objective. While they all know that the project will construct houses for the people that were affected by the tsunami, there is some disagreement on the total number of houses and other structures. There is also no official announcement on the date the project will end, especially due to the delays in the project and the additional requests from some stakeholders to add more buildings to the project, especially a request for a small school. Another team member confirms on the additional request from beneficiaries to add more buildings to the project, especially a request for a social center. Some beneficiaries seem to have the expectation that the project will help them rebuild the entire village, including the school, a small health center, and a market to sell fish. Some also report confusion on the type of construction and the use of local materials, and are still not sure who will provide utilities such as electricity and water to the village. Meeting with the project director. You organize a short meeting with the program director. As a project manager, it is your responsibility to inform her of any problems or challenges you think need her attention. She agrees to the meeting. You inform her that the project team presented you with a list of various problems that are affecting the project. Some of the problems seem to be originated even from before the project started and deal with poor communications from the organization. This has caused some confusion in the team and created some problems related to roles and responsibilities. She reminds you that she was expecting that you will find the situation and is happy that you took it as your first task. She asks you from these problems which one is the most critical one that you should focus your energies to solve. You reply that the problem that might have significant implications is the lack of a common understanding of the project objective. As reported by the team, it seems that everyone involved in the project has a different idea of what it will deliver. The initial information shared by the project manager seems to have lacked clarity in defining the project objective. In addition to that, there were many changes proposed by stakeholders that were considered in the last 3 months. The decisions were not communicated, and that created the impression that they were approved, thus increasing the original scope of the project. As a project manager, you inform the program director that this problem can have dire consequences to the project. There is the risk that the beneficiaries and key stakeholders will not be satisfied with what the project delivers at the end, since all have different expectations. This in turn can create problems with the donor and a loss of confidence in the organization to replicate the project in other areas of the country. You suggest that you need to meet with some key internal and external stakeholders to confirm your analysis of the problem and then work on a solution. The program director agrees with your suggestions and presents you with a short list of some key stakeholders that you should meet to analyze this problem in more detail. They include 2 internal stakeholders, the finance manager and the grants and contracts manager. The 2 external stakeholders are the government and the beneficiary representatives. Meeting with key stakeholders. Your first meeting is with 2 important internal stakeholders of the project. They are the finance manager who supervises the budget and the contract clauses regarding the use of the donor funds. The other internal stakeholder is the grants and contracts manager. She manages the relationship with the donor and the other 2 donors that have an interest to fund the second phase of this project. When asked about the project objectives, the finance manager replies that the current objective is fine with him, and that his only concern is to ensure the project doesn't run over budget. He has taken special attention to this project due to its visibility, and he has made his objective that the project will not run over budget. The grants and contract manager has understanding that the project will take less time than planned. Her main interest is for the project to deliver the houses so that the organization can showcase the innovative design and the ability to deliver in less time. That is a great marketing opportunity for the organization to attract more donors. The external stakeholders chosen for the second meeting are the government official who has been assigned as a liaison with the project to deal with the permits and approvals by the government regarding the construction of the new houses. The other stakeholder is a representative of the project beneficiaries. The government official mentions that the project should keep to its original objective of constructing the houses. He heard rumors that the project will be doing more than that, and he is worried that will create unrealistic expectations. He's also not sure if the government will be able to commit to its promise to build a school, hospital, and provide the services due to the many demands from other villages and the limited resources. The representative of the beneficiaries expressed that their main concern was that the project did not communicate a date for them to move to the new houses. Families are living in tents under hard conditions. After the meeting, you take notes from the conversations you had with the stakeholders. The information confirms that there is an urgent need to clarify the project objective, not only to properly express what the project will deliver, but also when it will deliver and the work that will not be part of the project. You remember glancing at the project charter, and you decide to take a look at it again. The charter was the basis for the initial messages sent by the project manager to some key stakeholders at the start of the project. Review of the project charter. You look at the project files and find the original project charter. It is a simple document that contains information about the project background, the objectives, the main project strategy, the governance structure, the project organization, the process for change control, and the signatures approving the charter. Sections 1 and 2 contain the project background, which is short and accurate. Your attention focuses on the second section that details the project objective, and it reads, provide housing to families affected by the tsunami in the fishery village of Kiribati in Sri Lanka. Sections 3 and 4 contain the following information: the project strategy or the approach that makes this project unique, and the governance structure that describes the people that have been assigned with decision-making responsibilities in the project. This section describes the project organization that the project manager would lead, including key personnel assigned to the project and people hired specifically for this work. The next section describes the process for change control in the project and the roles of the steering committee in approving major changes. After completing your review of the project charter, you confirm that the project objective is not clear enough and that the way it was written can lead to many interpretations and confusions. You learned in the past about the importance of having well-defined SMART objectives. This is a good opportunity to use that knowledge and make the required changes.